Hey, what's going on, champs? I'm Aaron Deliosa. Welcome to an Immigrant's Life podcast, my podcast about immigrants and immigration and everything in between. Thank you for listening and downloading the show, and thank you for supporting my dad.
Welcome back, Immigrant Nation. Another week, another new episode. As always, thank you for joining me every week, whenever or wherever you're listening to this podcast. As a healthy reminder, if you have not officially joined the Immigrant Nation, I suggest for you to please the subscribe button wherever you're listening to this podcast. And another way to be part of this community is by visiting and following our social media accounts. Our handle is at An Immigrant's Life, where you can see pictures, audio reels, and other things that's happening in my life. It is also there where you can contact me if you or someone you know is interested in appearing as a guest on the podcast, or you can send an email to animigrant'slife@yahoo.com. Let's connect and let's tell your beautiful story. All the reminders are done. Now, let's talk about this week's episode. This week's episode is a candid conversation with a remarkable fashion blogger where she bravely opens up about her journey through the shadows of financial hurdles, weight challenges, and health setbacks. Join us as we unravel how she triumphantly navigated her way out of the abyss and into the radiant new chapter, all through the empowering world of fashion blogging. Stay tuned for this inspiring episode where we explore the transformative power of resilience with style. And with that, without further ado, let's get into the show. Isa, dalawa, tatlo. Today's guest is a style and beauty blogger that has a personality as colorful as her outfits. Everyone, please welcome Brenda Chuinkam.
Yay! Good job with the name.
I got it. So much pressure. You're looking at me. I'm like, please don't mess this up.
I'm waiting to
You
hear
know what I
you.
mean? Hey, Brenda, thank you for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
How's your day so far? It's good?
Yes, long but good. Can't wait for it to be over.
Hump day is over. We're getting there.
I still don't understand why they call it hump day, because I feel like Friday is the hardest to get over because you're so close to the weekend.
I understand, but Friday is like, for me, Friday is like half weekend because you have the feeling, the excitement of weekend.
But I guess it depends on your line of work, because with us, Fridays are actually the busiest. So that's why Friday for me is hump day, because it takes so long to get to the weekend.
I understand for sure. Hey, before we talk about Friday and other things, why don't you tell the Immigrant Nation where they can reach you if you want to promote anything?
Sure. I am on almost all social media platforms as the Ankara Queen: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all of them. The Ankara Queen, where I share my personal style tips as well as affordable fashion finds.
I love it. I love your outfits. It's so beautiful, colorful, and of course, very fashionable.
Thank you.
Were you always been a fashionable person?
I've always thought I was a fashionable person.
That's the thing. That's the difference, right?
I don't know if people thought the same thing.
But isn't that what it doesn't matter what they think. If you think you're fashionable, if you're comfortable, if you are feeling like you're getting confidence from wearing something, isn't that what fashion is all about?
I agree. I just feel as though society deems you fashionable based on how extravagant and bold your outfit choices are. Whereas a lot of people who do minimalistic styles, I find them fashionable. But I have really been around the world when it comes to my fashion style. I've tried so many things to see what fit me. And, finding my own space in the fashion industry, because my body type has also changed over the years, and dressing a certain style when I was a certain weight and being able to change as my body changed and as I grew older. That has always been my thing with fashion. But being called fashionable, I have always thought I was fashionable, but it's nice that other people also think I'm fashionable.
Yeah, I guess you need that that props, that guarantee, or that somebody acknowledge you that you are fashionable.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because if you're in your own little bubble, you think you're all that. But then if you post online and you get 2 likes, then you think, oh, maybe I'm not all that. Yeah. I hate depending on either social media or the people up there to determine how fashionable you are. But in my own little circle, at least I'm fashionable. If people like it, it's an added bonus. But I do like that I am fashionable. I love fashion. I don't necessarily follow trends and news reports and about fashion. I just do my thing.
That's the most important thing. Like sometimes you'll see fashion, like those fashion shows, and they wear I don't know, blankets over their head. I'm like, what is this? Who's gonna wear this? I have never seen person will wear this.
Mm-mm. I think they do that for the buzz, for value, because that's what gets people talking about the brands. They know that people are not going to wear that, but they want people to talk about their brand and share their images. It gets them more questions online. As they say, any buzz is better than no buzz. So people want to be talked about. They know people are not wearing that, except Kanye West and some other celebrities, but
or Lady Gaga.
Exactly. Even Lady Gaga doesn't dress like that anymore. Oh, she is toned down. She doesn't wear meat dresses anymore. She's
dresses.
So that's not even Lady Gaga. It's other people. I don't know where they are.
The young ones.
Yeah, maybe. But even them, everyone wants, the more trendier pieces versus a shock value piece. Yeah.
What do you think of that though? Is that their fashion or they're really asking for attention?
I think it's mostly attention. And part of it is creativity. They want to show you how out there they can make you look if you're looking for a very unique piece. Hey, check out my brand because I made this, I don't know, cape out of foil and it's get you attention if you wear it on the red carpet. I think their target audience is not common folk like you and I. No.
I'm happy with my t-shirt and my hoodie.
Me too. I mean, not t-shirt, but
I mean, of course, I know I dress up when I need to dress up, but every day is just I'll wear a shirt or a hoodie or whatever. If I'm going to the market or to the store, who cares? But if I'm going to a party, yeah, I'll be like, yo, let's go.
What would you?
What would I wear?
Yeah.
I don't know, like a blazer, a nice blazer, a nice dress shirt. If it needs to be like a suit, I'll wear a suit. But depends on the style. I've been trying to tone it down more. I've been trying to get into wearing my cultural clothing now, because for the longest year of it was I guess it's colonial mentality, the cringe, people make fun of you, but I'm recently I went to my son's graduation. I wore my cultural shirt. I'm like, yo, I look good in this.
You do.
I took a picture. I'm like, oh, I'm feeling myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I like this. And so, I'm like, that's what I'm going to start doing now. I cannot wait to wear it to a wedding, That would be nice. But anyways, let's talk about you. I did some reading about you. You were born in Gabon?
Yes.
And then moved to Cameroon. When did you move to Cameroon?
No, actually, born in Gabon, then we moved to the US, then we moved to Cameroon.
Who goes to the US and then go back to Cameroon? Who does that? I guess you tell me what's happened.
Children who have no choice.
How that happened? Why US and then back to Cameroon?
Well, my dad's job, so they transferred us to Cameroon. So we moved to Cameroon.
Was he a businessman?
No, a diplomat.
Oh, fancy smanchy over here.
See. I guess so. We were that family that moved.
How is that to be your dad is a diplomat, like very respectable young man? You're like, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. You cannot be with the normal people, you know.
We were very much with the normal people, but I won't lie. There was a privilege because even moving back to Cameroon, we went to the best private schools, so we were able to rub shoulders with ministers' kids and prime ministers' kids. Those were the schools we went to, which were really, really important because that's where you're able to make those connections that will help you long into the future. For example, if your kid goes to school with Bill Gates' grandkid, that's a flex, and your kid befriends them. It's a genuine friendship for them, but at the same time, when they grow older, there's valuable connections there that can help them. So my dad was thinking very, very far. So he made sure he went to all the schools, all the big names kids were going to, since we had the opportunity. But for me, yeah, I felt a little bit of the privilege, but it's not like we had bodyguards and we did have driver, but not like we didn't.
Look at you! You're gonna go and then go back.
The full glam package. It was, I would say, the premier package, not the premium.
You're like the medium package.
Yeah, the medium package.
So you didn't have bodyguards?
No.
So there was no fear of you guys being kidnapped or anything like that?
No. We were on very strict schedules. Our parents had us very, very busy, and we always went to boarding schools. That was one thing too. So it made it very easy for them to know exactly where we were. So if it wasn't school during the summer, winter breaks, there's no winter in Cameroon, but during the breaks, it was activities. If it was swimming, it was tennis, it was library. So there wasn't any fear because everywhere, because my mom was a stay-at-home wife, so she was with us attending all of our activities. So we were always busy.
Was there a pressure to perform and to be great on things?
Oh, yes. My dad is a very, very proud perfectionist. They didn't know. I'm sure you've probably spoken to people on your podcast of African descent who are first gen, and I'm sure they've told you of just the pressure. It's like, I made these sacrifices, you can't let us down. And mind you, I'm in the privileged tier just because my parents have never ever depended on any of us to be successful in order for them to. They've never asked for us to financially help them. Let me put it that way. Whereas a lot of first gen families, when their kids start making money, they're expected to either send some back home, they're expected to pay for a sibling's tuition or a cousin's tuition. My parents have never been like that. So I say I'm privileged because all of my money is mine. But in the sense, the education-wise, it was, my parents were on us. From the moment we started going to school, education was grilled in our heads like, this is your key. This is the key to success in life. Forget any side hustles. Get your degrees first. So once everyone got at least a bachelor's, then my dad would scale back a little, and then you could play around a little bit because you have that degree to fall back on. But it was perfect grades. It was, oh yes, my dad believed in physical punishment, not for the girls, but the guys. So bad grades, get a flog. Yeah, that was the household. You come back with a red in your report card, you get a flog.
Wait, that's sexist, by the way. Let me just get back. Why the guy
Ooh,
get hit and the girl doesn't get hit?
those are soft, precious jewels. What are you talking about?
Us too. We're humans too. We got feelings too.
I'm sorry, but my dad saw his daughters as soft, cuddly beings, not meant to be bruised.
I understand. It was funny when you were saying about like there was no pressure of sending back money to the family. There's no black tax.
No, exactly. There's no black tax with my parents. If you want to gift them anything, it's just because you want to. They don't expect any financial aid, and they never wanted to be a financial burden, and they never wanted us to start out with any financial burden, which was why it was so important for my dad to cover all of our tuition for all of even our secondary, post-secondary education, because he didn't want us to start out with debt. He knew he never had debt in his whole life up to now. Everything my dad owns, he pays cash. If he can't pay cash, he can't get it. Everything, cars, houses, everything. So he wanted us to start out with a clean slate, make sure that none of his kids had to worry about student debt. It's like, no, your money is your money. So now go out and make the most of it.
As long as you make A.
As long as you had good grades. That's all.
You don't make A, guess what?
It could have been worse. It could have been worse.
Yeah, it could have been worse, I guess. Are they still living in Cameroon or where are they living now?
Right now they're in Montreal, but they would love to go back to Cameroon. Their plan is to the whole back and forth. They only came to Canada recently, and if not that Cameroon was so politically unstable right now, they would have been back, but it's safer for them to be here right now.
Is that retired now?
Funny enough, as my dad retired, my mom decided to work. So
What did she decide to do?
she got tired of seeing him in the house 24/7. So
I don't blame her.
like, what? She's like, she's so used to not seeing him, but now he's all the time. No, so she did nursing aid. She's a nursing assistant. Yeah.
Hey, props to mom, man. She didn't have to do that.
She didn't. She doesn't. But what she loves is, she told me now she has excess money to spend. That's what she loves. So I would say every 2 weeks, my mom buys something she's always wanted to get. Every 2 weeks, she's buying something luxurious just because.
That's amazing. I love that idea. Like every 2 weeks, she has a goal to reach.
Yeah. And she doesn't have to worry about things like mortgage and rent, or her money is all hers. She travels however she wants to. If she wants to buy her husband a Rolex, she buys it. Like everything is up to her. She doesn't care if she wants to send her grandkids $500. Yeah, it's up to her.
I love it. Such I love that idea that there's like, yes, every 2 weeks I have this thing. I want to reach it. I want to see, purchase it. Like it's a good thing to push it. You know that there's a study from I believe it's Stanford University that planning a vacation is the most important part, and not going to the vacation because you get excited.
The anticipation. Ooh.
Yeah, I would say Friday, but like you said, Friday is not really the best.
Saturday.
Saturday is the best, yes. But so, did you grow up in Cameroon, or where did you grow up?
So partially, I did 8 years in Cameroon, and then I moved to Canada with my sister.
Wait, just you and the sister?
Yes.
Did you guys plan that?
Boarding school. See, that's again another boarding school.
Okay.
From boarding school to boarding school.
How is it to grow up in a boarding school?
It depends on the boarding school. So the one in Cameroon was very traumatic.
You get a stick?
So that was part of it. The teachers were allowed to physically beat the kids if they found that they were stubborn. But I never understood why I was getting punished, because I felt if, for example, I don't agree with something, I should be able to voice it, but it was seen as disrespect. And then boom, you're getting flogged. But I didn't find that fair. So they were teaching us to suppress our emotions, to suppress our thoughts. You weren't allowed to be who you actually were. So I find that even when I go through the pictures of myself in boarding school, I was just a shell of who I am right now, the person you see on Instagram. Everyone knew that I was an introvert. I barely spoke, minding my business. And at the time, I was also really obese. So, I was just eating my emotions away. And it was just everything going on in boarding school. It was an all-girls school. We had
Oh
to shave
no.
our hair bald, before
Wait,
school.
why?
Yeah, because they found that hair was a distraction. So you had to get rid of it. Anything was a distraction. No jewelry, no makeup, no, just very simple. Everyone, the same uniform, the same sandals. And that's how they wanted us to be. So no individuality. Whereas, as you can see, I'm a creative. So I was suppressing this all the time and just gaining weight, and acne came, and this is a depressing time for me. I'm like, and I hate boys because boys don't like me.
It's just a vicious circle.
Vicious circle. I used to hate, because every year at school we would go to the all boys school, so all the girls would go to, yes, and we would be like sheep on display,
Of course.
for foxes. And then what would happen was, this is the most traumatic part, all the girls would have to line up, and the guy would have to come and choose you.
Oh my God.
Yes, to take you to the hall for lunch. And do you know what? I never got chosen. So that was why I say it was traumatic. And if you didn't get chosen, everyone would see, because you would be the last to come into the hall for lunch.
Oh my God.
I see you walking in alone, and I would just want to melt. This is why I said I hated boys, because boys didn't like me.
Yeah. Oh my God. How did that make you feel? Like growing up, like not feeling that the opposite sex doesn't want you at all.
Yeah, it made me feel ugly. It made me feel, undesirable. I used to ask my mom, how come I can't get a boyfriend? She would always tell me, don't worry about boys right now. And I would get pissed off. So man, I'm like, is she telling me I'm not pretty enough? Why is she just telling me not to worry about boys right now? But at the time, I was like, why? All my friends have boyfriends. How come no one has asked me out? So that's why I hated boys, because, again, at the end of the day, I didn't like myself. I didn't like the way I looked. I couldn't express myself. I thought I was an exciting, fun person, but going to a boarding school where everyone was supposed to look the same, I just blended in. And the only thing that made me stand out was my brain. See, thanks to my dad, I was always top 3 in my class, always. So I just put my head down. I focused on getting those A's, and I couldn't wait to be out of boarding school. Then when I came to Canada, slowly, when the larvae turns into the fly, that's
The butterfly.
I started being free.
I mean, okay. I see that, like, outside socially, you're inside you cannot show who you are.
Yeah.
But inside the house, were you always the same thing, or were you this is you, like out and like happy?
At home, I was happy. That's when I was the happiest, when it was just my siblings and I. Oh, we had a ball. We, even up to now, we're very, very close. I speak to my whole family almost every day. My mom, every day, sometimes twice a day. Like, we have such a great relationship. So with them, I could be myself. But then once it was time for school, like, even because my brothers went to the all-boys school, while my sister and I were in the all-girls school. So when we used to go to the all-boys school, I would sometimes see my brothers if their schedules aligned. And so if I didn't get chosen, my comfort was my brothers would eventually find me, and we would just hang out. We would just go somewhere on our own and just my brothers would steal food from the cafeteria and bring extra chicken. And that was the only part I looked forward to if my brothers were there, because not all the students could go at the same time. So if my brothers were amongst those, I would always be so happy. So I could be myself around them and around my close friends. If we were at home, oh, they knew me. But it's just in that setting with people who are not friends or people who had authority, I could not be myself.
How about now? Are you okay with authorities now, or?
I am. And also because I found my voice. So now I speak out. And everyone thinks I'm this extrovert. And I am. It's just, I am an extrovert. But everyone thinks I'm, what's the word I'm looking for? Where they respect you, but they have a little bit of fear. I like it though. Especially at work, people think that my boss is scared of me. You know? But in a good way, because they're like, you always put your foot down. I set boundaries from the beginning. People rarely ever cross me, because they know if they cross Brenda, oh, she's the wrong person. And I like that. Whereas in boarding school, oh, you could walk all over me and I would say sorry for making you upset. No. Now I tell you straight up,
Damn. Yeah, but no, boundaries so important. Like I tell that to people all the time when people will complain like, "Oh, she does it all the time," or "He does it to me all the time." Like, bro, set up the boundary.
Exactly.
This is the boundary. You can get as close as you can, but you're not crossing that boundary.
Yeah.
That's my boundary. That's my happiness. You mess up with my happiness. Sorry, we got problems.
Got to go.
I love it. You said that you keep on saying that you were an obese teenager, but I found out too that you wanted to be skinny till you had this very bad eating habit. What happened?
Oh, I wanted to be skinny so bad. Yeah, my first blog was called "Can Never Be a Skinny Bitch." Like that's how badly I want to be skinny. But when I came to Canada, first I gained a bunch of weight because it was McDonald's, it was KFC. We don't have to eat Cameroon.
And the servings are bigger.
It was free. I was so happy. Pancakes, Waffle House, all these fast foods. I overdid it in the beginning. Tim Hortons, we were right across from a Tim Hortons. At 9 p.m., I was dashing out to get a 12-pack of donuts. Like that.
Whoa, 12 packs?
I mean, I was sharing it with 3 people, but still.
They'll get one each, and then the rest is yours.
Right. My sister and I, we used to stash snacks, terrible snacks, like muffins that are 600 calories in one muffin. Yes, nasty snacks. So I gained weight. And then I remember, because at the time, digital phones and cameras were not yet as big as they are now. So I wasn't really seeing pictures of myself. And then one of my friends took a picture of me and I looked at it. I'm like, oh, that's what I look like. A little thicker Beyonce, but no. So then when I saw that picture, I remember we went for Christmas in Montreal. My aunt stays in Montreal. Went there. And then I remember I told myself, after Christmas, it's a wrap. I am losing weight. So I am someone, again, it goes back to self-control and discipline. I'm really good at it. Me, if I say this is what I'm going to do, I do it. So I came back and I started the grapefruit diet.
What's that?
The diet where you don't eat any carbs except for grapefruit. But you can eat all the protein you want. But you cannot eat any carbs except for grapefruit. So I started the grapefruit diet. First week, I dropped 8 pounds. I'm like, yeah. Second week, I dropped another 8 pounds. I'm like, yes, this is working. And I used to go to the gym twice a day because I was in high school. I didn't have anything to do apart from going to class and then homework, which I could complete in an hour. So I was going to the gym morning and evening. And then third week, my breath was stinking. Because eat carbs, your body is breaking down fat and it stinks, fat and protein. So my breath was sinking and I had so little energy. It's like, I can't keep doing this. But I had lost 20 pounds in 2 weeks. I was like, I'm onto something. So then one of my friends, she created a diet for both of us. Mind you, she had no background.
I was just gonna ask.
The same age. She's like, there's this diet that works for celebrities. I'm like, sign me up. Oh my gosh. The diet was weird. You would have 2 apples for breakfast and then a glass of milk for snack. It was horrible. But I lost weight. So I was excited. Of course I was losing weight. I was barely eating. But I did these diets for probably 2 months. And I remember when I started, I believe I was at 180 and graduation came around. So between January and graduation for us was, I believe, May. So between January and May, I lost 60 pounds.
Woo!
60 pounds. I showed up for graduation and people were like, who is this? People did not recognize me.
Who's the hottie with the body?
But at the time, and this is another thing, in my head, I still had the fat girl mentality.
Mm-hmm.
I still felt fat. And I was looking at pictures and my collarbones were showing. My mom was worried, sick. My mom was like, you have to stop what you're doing. You look sick. I'm like, no, I just have a few more pounds to go. And I was on it with the workouts and everything. I'm like, I have to prove these people. But after graduation, my mom told me, no, that you're stopping this right now. So I cooled down and then I went to university skinny. But by the time I was graduating university, I was so skinny. Freshman 15 was the thing.
Maybe it was freshman 50.
For me, no, at least. But from there, for me, what that did is showed me that I could do it. Because I was like, no matter what, I am going to lose this weight. I went from a size 16, I was wearing a size 4 at graduation. But then by the time I was finishing university, I was around a size 8, but I was happy with that. I'm like, okay, at least it's not a 16. And when I did look back at the size 4 pictures, like this, it doesn't even look like me. My face was like, that doesn't look like me at all. So when I was down the size, I'm like, okay, I like this, But that gave me the push. Like, I can do this. If I want to lose weight, I can lose weight.
The self-control, where did it come from? Do you think that's natural or you learned it?
Ooh. Honestly, I think it's part of it is definitely genetic. And it's not everyone in my family who has it. Most people in my family have a sugar addiction, but I don't. Yeah, I'm very, very, like, if I tell myself I'm only going to eat 1 tablet of chocolate in a pack of 6, I will only eat 1. Everyone else in my family, they look at me crazy. Like, how can you eat 1? The rest is there. Just eat it. No, like, I've told myself it's 1 today and it's 1 tomorrow. It's 1. So I think it's part of it, definitely genetic, not from my mom's side, probably my dad's side, because my mom will eat the entire box of chocolate. She doesn't care. But my dad, on the other hand, he can take, a handful and then he'll just nibble. And that's how I am with the self-control. I wish it transferred to my spending. It's only in terms of food, not spending.
Yeah, well, those are two different things, I guess. So now, do you love yourself now?
Love it. Oh, yes. Oh, you can't tell me shit.
This is the Brenda that you've been waiting for.
That 14-year-old, 15, 16-year-old Brenda wishes she was at the time. But I feel like I always think I wasn't in my body. That's why I always tell myself, like, that wasn't me. Because I felt a certain way. I felt good, but it didn't reflect in the pictures. Like, but now it reflects. I feel.
How did you get rid of the fat girl mentality?
That was, oh my gosh, that was like 10 years to get rid of it. Because each time I would gain, I used to step on the scale every day. Each time,
terrible.
Each time it would move, I would start panicking. I have to go to the gym. I have to throw out the cookies. It took so long. Honestly, I don't know if it's age and time, just getting more comfortable with my body. It took a long time. Yeah. Even until now, I still have a little bit of it. I won't lie. That's why it also makes me control myself more, because I know that all of us in our family, we're predisposed to obesity and all that comes with obesity, high blood pressure. So a part of me always has that fat girl mentality where it's like, oh, you ate too much today. Tomorrow you're going to have to scale down. I do that. I'm not, at least now the difference is I don't feel bad about it, because I know myself. I know that if I tell myself we're cutting out sugar this week, I'm going to cut out sugar this week. I've been able to control things well. And I don't eat because I'm feeling emotional. No. If I'm feeling emotional, I have healthier habits now. I'll work out. It's just good.
That's beautiful. I saw that you went to this procedure, myomectomy procedure. How was that? What happened? Tell us the story.
What happened was I had symptomatic fibroids. I'm not sure if you know what fibroids
Nope.
are. Oh, so they're benign tumors that grow around the uterus. So I had
Only
had
in the
them.
uterus?
Yes. So
Okay.
that's why, yeah. So if they're in and around the uterus and they're fibroids. If they're outside, and it's something else. But mine, yes. So mine were fibroids, and I'd had them for at least 10 years. But what happened was mine grew. Normally they don't grow, and sometimes they don't cause any serious symptoms, but mine were growing and they were causing a lot of issues. So it was very, very, very heavy bleeding. My periods were not regular. I had anemia, just a lot of things, back pain. And then, of course, my stomach started growing big as if I was pregnant. And even my body thought I was pregnant, because my doctor called me because I insisted on getting a hormonal test done. It's my sister who told me to insist, because it's not part of your regular checkup. So when they did the hormonal test, my doctor told me my hormones were like those of a woman who had just given birth. So what? So he asked me to do it again, because he doesn't believe the results. Okay. Did it again, same results. Then he's like, okay, I'm going to refer you to a gynecologist, because my stomach it was protruding. And I couldn't even lie on my stomach anymore because it was so hard. Like, imagine a pregnant woman lying on her stomach.
It's like a beetle. When a beetle's, yeah.
Yeah. So that's when I went and saw a gynecologist last year, and she put me on, I forget the name of, but it's an injection that you take, Lupron, and it puts you on menopause. So I was on menopause. I know.
Oh my God.
At my young age. But it's supposed to help shrink the fibroids. Unfortunately for me, mine tripled in volume.
Bro.
So then, end of that surgery. So I had to get the surgery. I felt so heavy, extremely heavy. Anything I did, I just felt heavy. And I lost 17 pounds after the surgery. So I was heavy. Just imagine moving around in these masses just everywhere you go. So I had the surgery and it was hard. It was difficult.
Why?
Good. The pain. The pain. You use your abdominal muscles for everything. To just tear it open, and the uterus, the number of layers that they have to go through to get to the uterus, and then they cut around the uterus and they leave holes and they have to stitch them up and they have to reconstruct the uterus. It's a big surgery. So I was in the hospital, and then I came home. I was off work for about 6 weeks. Yeah. And I was only able to start walking probably at around week 3. Like I would walk to the bathroom and back, and that was it. Walk to the bathroom and back, and that was it. And my mom had to help me. Like they tell you, they don't even let you get the surgery if you don't have someone. Like that's how harsh and severe the surgery is. if you come in that day and you don't have someone with you, they cancel the surgery. So my mom was there with me. She was able to stay with me, nurture me back to health. But it was a really, really, really tough, the most difficult time I've ever been through. And yeah, it was painful, very, very painful.
What caused the fibroids?
That's the $1 million question. The $1 million question.
Grapefruits.
No. No, because unfortunately, fibroids affect about 7 out of 10 Black women.
Okay.
Yeah, Black women disproportionately are affected by fibroids way more than any other race. And that's the part of the reason why people wonder, is that why there's not a lot of research on it? Because it's a Black women problem, not a lot of funding. So no one really knows. No one really knows what causes them. And
I think I have an idea. Because you guys are too beautiful and smart. God needs to balance it, you know?
He needs to bring us down.
He has to balance it a little bit, you know?
No, it's too much. It's way too much.
So it was difficult. And mom was there to help you out. But obviously, it's still going to be you, inside you, that needs to push. What kept you going through those pain and through those challenges?
Knowing that I wouldn't have that pain that I had before the surgery. I would take this pain because it was temporary. That pain was long-term and permanent. So I knew that I would feel so much better, which I do, after the surgery. So I knew that, this is going to pass. And it did.
Well, God forbid, I hope never, but there's a chance it coming back?
Oh, yeah. It's actually a high chance. The more you have before surgery, the higher the chance that new ones will come back after surgery. And it's unfortunate.
Stop eating grapefruit.
I don't even eat grapefruit. I eat oranges now. I don't. Oranges.
So, you're a very independent, very powerful woman. How did it feel when you feel so vulnerable and like you can't do anything but depend on mom and everything else?
I was happy. Especially because it was mom.
Yeah.
I was so happy. And I think that was our best bonding moment ever. My mom saw me at my most vulnerable, and we joke about it today. It's like, that's the only time you were allowed to pass gas in front of me. You know, we joke about it. It's like, that's the only time you could vomit on me, you know? Because it was like taking care of a baby. Like, I couldn't do things on my own. She had to clean me. She had to change me. So, yeah, so it was such a great, there was no one else I would rather have by my side during that recovery. No one else. No one else could take care of you like your mom. Like, it was like she was taking care of her baby all over again.
No judgment.
Yeah, exactly. No judgment. Like the first time, because they insist on you passing gas in order to prevent, what's the word I'm looking for? Like a reflux. So before you go to bed after the surgery, they insist you must pass gas before you go to bed. So I remember my mom saying, I need you to fart.
That's
things
funny.
like even the first urination after surgery, it was a mess. And I ended up urinating on my mom, and she's like, it's okay. Like, you know, who else would do that? Who else would? No judgment. It's like, she needs this. My daughter needs to heal. This is the process. I am there for her. Clean her up after. The nurses, they had basically nothing to do in the hospital, and they loved my mom. Because as soon as she came in the morning, she was like, give me everything. I'm going to bathe her. I'm going to clean her. Like, I'm going to change her sheets. Like, my mom wanted to do that. She's like, this is my girl. So I was happy. Like, I want to be vulnerable. Any food I wanted. She's like, what do you want to eat? Okay, I'll blend this so it's not hard. Who would think like that? You know, only mom would think like that. So I was happy.
Shout out to mom.
Shout out to Mama Chuinkam.
What did you learn about that experience?
What did I learn about the experience? That moms are the best.
That we know that already.
Yes. Oh, yes. Ooh. I learned that it's hard for me to completely relax. I was supposed to completely relax for 6 weeks and I didn't. I started working on my blog. But for me, that was soft because it was just on a laptop. I was just sitting on a laptop. But in that sense, I felt I needed to do something. It wasn't enough for me to just lie down. The first 2 weeks, I didn't do anything. But then after week 2, I was like, I'm feeling better. I can sit up. Maybe I can work. You know? And
That's dad in you, the drive.
That's right. Yes. That's great.
So is that blog is the Ankara Queen?
Yes. That's the blog.
Let's talk about that. What is it all about? What's your goal?
So it's a fashion inspiration blog. So I share with women how to style almost anything in your closet for almost any occasion. So if you go through my blog, you'll see from what to wear to meet his parents to what to wear skydiving. So I give people ideas, outfit ideas, on what to wear for any occasion in their lives. That's really what the blog is about. And the goal, the goal is definitely the blog is my retirement plan. Yes, because I want to retire early in life. The goal is for that to be my main source of income.
You're such a prolific blogger, by the way. Like you come up with ideas like almost every day.
I try.
How?
Oh, it's work. It's a lot of work, and I haven't reached that level yet where I have an assistant, but I do try to automate some of my stuff. So if I have time over the weekend, I will schedule a number of posts because I post everywhere. So that's really hard. And I try not to post the same thing on the same page on the same day. So if I'm posting a red dress on IG, I'll try to post the brown one on TikTok, the same time post the white one on YouTube, just so that it's not so you have a reason to check out my other platforms. Because if you know she's going to post it on the same thing, I can just go on one. No. You have to go to the other ones to see what I've posted on the other one. So that's why I say it's a lot, because my process of content creation involves a lot of planning. Some people are spontaneous, but the thing is, I live alone and I don't have someone who can take my pictures for me every day. So I have to plan way in advance to create my content in bulk and then sporadically release it to make sure that I'm keeping up with the post. But I can't afford to wait to post what I'm wearing that day. Unfortunately, I don't have a celebrity photographer yet, but I have to post. I choose one day out of the month where I create enough content to last me an entire month. That's what I do.
It's
so all
beautiful.
the content is stuff that I created last month. I shot last month, and then what I do is I edit it whenever I have time. If I'm watching a movie, it's just background noise. I'll be editing content and scheduling it for the week, and then I can relax.
Why do you still decide to write blog, even though you know how it is now? Everyone wants to be quick fix, quick views, quick everything.
It is where the money is at. Let me tell you, these social media pages are fleeting. And as we all know, one day your account can get wiped. You can get, what's the word I'm looking for? Hacked. And all your work is gone. Whereas if you have a blog, if you own the website, it's yours. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, they're cute, but they're trendy. Blogging is more solid. So for example, with blogging, you can have ads. So it means you get, what's the word? Revenue that you don't have to actively work. Passive. Thank you. You get passive income just because a certain number of people are visiting your website every day. That's one. Number two, affiliate links. On your blog, you can actually post as many links as you want. Instagram, for example, Instagram stories, you can only post one link per story. Whereas on your blog, if you want to post 50 links for people to click on, you can post as many as you want. Another thing with blog is you can have subscribers with blog. So if, for example, lo and behold, your Instagram and TikTok get deleted, all you have to do is send out one email blast. Hey guys, this is my new page. Boom. And then your followers can easily find you. If your Instagram gets deleted, you can't DM people. Your page is gone. Whereas with a blog, you can just send an email out like, hey, this is where I am. Find me here. And Google is still the number one search engine in the world. Not Instagram, not TikTok. People are still going on Google. So don't be fooled by people getting 1 million views for a dress they wore. That's cute. But after a week, no one's checking out that post again. Whereas with Google, if your post is on the first page of Google, unless some crazy thing happens, you're going to be there for a long time. And how many millions of searches does Google get per day? People looking for that. That's what I've discovered. And it's only last year that I found this out, because I have a friend who has been a full-time blogger for about 5 years now. So she was a pharmacist, quit her job, and does blogging because she was making more from her blog than her job as a pharmacist, where she was earning $150,000. She quit because her blog was bringing in way more than that. And now she's been able to hire people. So now she barely even blogs. She doesn't even do the work. She has a team. So that's a goal. That's goal. And she taught me this. So she taught me Google is still king. All these other social media, they're cute. They're nice. It's nice to have a presence there because people like flashy. So I try to stay consistent on there, because a lot of brands still like you to have a social media page if they want to work with you. But at the end of the day, my bread and butter comes from my blog.
Well said. You know what I like about you too is you always pivot. You have this blog, you cancel that, and then you start a new one. I love that resilience about you.
Thank you.
Where did you get your resilience from?
I don't know if there's a particular. I think it's just a sum of all my experiences, a sum of the environment I grew up in, my background, just dealing with all of that stuff. Growing up, from the bullying to the self-hate to everything, but getting the love from my family and good friends. I think that's honestly all I can say.
I love that. By the way, the Ankara Queen, what's the title about? What's that mean?
So Ankara refers to, do you know these bright and colorful prints that a lot of Africans can be seen wearing? That's what is called Ankara. So I'm the queen of that, because especially when I was blogging years ago, I would wear that often. I don't wear it as often, but people knew me. Like if you went on Google and you typed in Ankara styles, my pictures would come up, number one. So that's what that name came about, because people knew, like, if you're looking for trendy African pieces, check out my page. And I used to work with a lot of African designers. So they would send me these pieces for me to wear because they knew that they would get a lot of customers. So that's how I became the Ankara queen.
I love it. I want to ask you, a lot of women, they claim to dress for themselves. Do you agree with that, or is it really they're hoping to get attention?
Partially. I do. I won't lie. Some of the outfits that I choose is specifically for clout, is for engagement, and most of them are for me. But some of them I do post in order to get more engagement on the page. Again, they say, but any buzz is better than no buzz. So if you wear a certain outfit, flamboyant, more outgoing, you will be seen more. And at the end of the day, I am someone who likes to be seen more. So it is, so a lot of times it is a reflection of my personality, but sometimes I'll go more out there just because I want the buzz.
I love that. Okay. I found out that you used to have and you said it, you alluded to it, that you had unhealthy shopping habit.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that stem from, and how did you cure it?
Oh, it's not completely cured. Let's just make that clear. Okay. I will buy more than I need. A lot of times, most times. But at least now I'm making some more money. So no, but that definitely comes from the fat Brenda who, wanted to be seen and who thought that buying nice stuff would make her feel better. Yeah, I had expensive tastes even when I wasn't making any money. When daddy was paying, I had expensive tastes. I was buying baby fat. You know how much baby fat costs? What is a 15-year-old doing buying baby fat when she doesn't work? That was me. So I've always had expensive tastes. But that was, it was trying to make up for not feeling pretty. So it's like, oh, if I'm not pretty, I might as well wear nice stuff, to get people interested in me, to get people talking to me.
Mhm.
So I just felt like, yes, I need to dress a certain way. Urban ghetto at the time. It was ghetto five. You remember the bling all over? That was me.
Apple bottoms.
Rockaware, Apple Bottoms, Darion, I had all of them. Sean John, that was me. I was on their websites all the time. Dr. J, I was buying all that stuff. Asked me if I had a job. I didn't have a job, so
Spoiled brat. That's what you are.
and I feel bad. And I know my dad tried. He used to try so much to educate me about finances, and it would just go out through the other ear. While he was talking to me, I'll be thinking about a dress I should have gotten. That's how bad it was. Like, he bailed me out so many times, my credit cards, and then he's like, nope, this is the last time. And I thought he would come back, and I'd max out the card, and I'm like, Daddy? And
He never did? Oh, no.
I was left with the credit card. But yeah, that's it started.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
But I
it's a
read
goal.
that your brother counseled you and that helped you a lot.
Oh, yeah. What? Your homework.
Don't worry about it. I find ways.
My brother is so good with money. That's one quality I admire so much about him. Because he has money, but he lives as though he's broke. And
That's why he has money.
Exactly. But I have standards to live up to. He doesn't care about standards. He doesn't have a fashion blog. He can wear the same raggedy shoes. I can't do that. Imagine if I were, would I have the following I had if I was wearing the same thing all the time? No, I have to think spice. So yes, I won't lie. I have to work on that. I know. But my brother, he was really good. So he helped me get rid of all my debt during the pandemic. I mean, it didn't start during the pandemic before, but at least by the time the pandemic was over, he had helped me clear my debt. So that was really nice. But he's so good. He's so good with money. That's, again, as I said, my discipline ends with food. He has no discipline with food, but he has so much discipline with money.
Can you share some of the tips that he gave you to get out of the debt?
So the first one was he told me to pay off the smallest debt first. And, I remember, I think I had one card that had like 500. And that was something that I wasn't making that much at the time. But within, 3 paychecks, it was like, oh, that's one gone. And it's like, it wasn't the end of the world. I didn't feel as though I was dying. It's like, oh, that's one card gone. Okay, that's nice. And also realizing that it was easier to save if I did it in smaller portions. Because in my head, I'm like, I need at least $500 to save. So, it was always about getting to 500 and then I open a savings account. My parents like, no, dude. Like, even if it's $50 per paycheck, you don't feel it. But at the end of the year, when you check your account, that first year, for the first time in my life, I had $3,000 saved.
Savings is good and everything, but you still have that self-discipline to make sure that you don't touch the money.
Yes. So I don't touch that money. I won't lie. The first year I touched it. I'm like, oh, it's there for me to touch. And that's why it wasn't as much. But then after that, you're like, okay, brother, you need to calm down. It's for saving. It's not for, I have it. And it's like, no. So I was told to pretend as if it doesn't exist, which was so hard. Because I'm like, it's there. What do you mean it doesn't exist? It's there. Isn't it my money?
You're so funny.
No, I'm so happy. I haven't touched it. I'm so proud. I know it's not, and a part of me knows that at this my age, I should have more money saved. But I'm also proud of myself that at least I got it started later than most people, but I got it started and it's there. And I know also that with how things are going with the blog, I will be able to catch up. Like, that's my goal. It's like, okay, I know that with this other source of income, that is going to happen. Yeah, with the blog. That's why I say this is my retirement plan. Yeah.
I saw that you sell your used outfits. Where did the idea come from?
People asking for them.
Really?
Yeah. People would always ask me. People ask me, oh, if you ever sell your clothes, I'm like, okay, I might as well sell because I've worn it 3 times on the blog, on Instagram. You can only post it so often. But I don't sell everything. There's some pieces that I've had probably since high school. I don't sell everything, but I do sell a lot. And I try to do it every spring. I do a spring cleaning and I sell a lot of pieces from my closet and people buy and like, hey, extra income.
Yeah, of course. You also have an Amazon storefront. Do you make money on that?
I do. And it's only recently that I saw this. I say, watch out for me, Aaron. I might be on Forbes soon, so you better save this.
Hey, don't forget about me.
No, you better act like you know me. Be nice to me. Okay?
I'm nice.
Yes, keep being nice to me because very soon you're going to be passing through channels. Get to me. No, but by Amazon storefront, I just started taking it seriously. So I now I have 2, US and Canada. I used to have just one and it didn't make me any money for months. And then I realized what I was doing wrong. But the person who is helping me, the blogger who was a pharmacist, who is now a full-time blogger, she coached me and she was telling me what I was doing wrong. And then I started taking it seriously last month. I started making money from it. So I'm like, yeah, another source of income.
How does it work? Like, do you just choose the items and then you list it on Amazon? How do you get paid? Can you explain?
So you can either decide. So if I'm buying something from Amazon, of course, I'll take a picture, video with it and post on social media so you get an affiliate link when you have an Amazon storefront. So every time anyone shops using that affiliate link, you get a commission. So you can either post what you're wearing or you can do inspirational posts. So you can be like, oh my gosh, I have this chair in my cart. And then you post the link to it. Someone might be looking for that chair and then you make a commission. Or you can even take, like if I go to my sister's place and she has an Amazon product, I don't necessarily own it, but it's at her place. I'll take a nice picture, be like, oh my God, she's so cute. I don't necessarily own it, but people will see it and it is cute. And then if they buy it, I get a commission as well. So it's all about commissions with Amazon.
How do you apply for the storefront?
You do. So you go on Amazon website. It's somewhere on their website, but you apply for it. And you have to include your social media handles, if you have a website, and then they check. And then they see you're a good fit. then you're on board. I did not realize that they were selective until my sister told me one of her friends applied and didn't get in. Like, oh. So I didn't think it was a big deal. I'm like, anyone can do it. But I didn't realize, no, not anyone can do it. They're selective about who they choose.
Okay, that makes so much sense. Because I do see some like social media content creator that they have storefronts that I've seen like carpenters. Like, oh, I use this hammer.
Yes.
I love it. That's beautiful. I think we're there. But before we close out, I know you don't like giving advice.
No.
So how about you can give us an opinion for women that want to elevate their fashion sense? What opinion can you give them?
Get stuff that fits you to the T. If you want your outfit to look expensive, get it tailored. Trust me. I get so many of my items tailored, and that's why they look like they were made for me. Invest in a good either seamstress, tailor, alteration, whatever it is. If you want to elevate your style, get stuff that fits you, especially if it's a unique piece. It makes such a difference. It's insane if you pay a little extra to get, the waist taken in or something taken out, and then it just fits your body. First of all, it makes you look like you lost weight, but then it also makes you look better because it fits. Yeah, that's the best way to elevate, to get things that really fit your body type.
Well said, well said. Before we close out, Brenda, if you want to say your website again or your Instagram account, go ahead.
So I am everywhere as the Ankara Queen. That's THE Ankara Queen. I have a blog. Please subscribe to my blog so you can put food on the table of my future children. Please follow me, Instagram, TikTok. I'm really trying to build my YouTube. Follow me on YouTube. Actually, forget about Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. That's where I need to focus. That's where the money is.
Excellent. All right, Brenda, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. This has been so much fun.
Thank you, Aaron.
Have a good evening. Thank you again, Brenda, for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, listeners, for listening. This is Aaron Deliosa for An Immigrant's Life. I'll see you guys later.